kje je Slovenija, ki bo.
Thank you very much, Talman. And I want to thank the National Council. I also want to thank the Društvo Onkološki, let me get this right, Bolnico, Slovenia. Danes jaz bom govoril angliško, oprosti, moja slovenska je ni tako dobro, ni še. Daj mi malo čas, mogoče 1-2 let, in bo boljše obljubim. Today. But you know, I came to Slovenia 21 years ago. I fell in love with Slovenia 21 years ago, and then I fell in love with a Slovenian girl. And so, how do you say it? Mom's srečko, yeah. And now we live in Slovenia after many years in Oregon, and we came back here with our 12-year-old daughter, Annika, and we've been here almost 2 years now. Moja žena je Ispiran, and we're just having such a great time here, and it's a real honor to be here with you all and to live in your wonderful country. So I'll get started by saying, I'll start with some of my successes. I'm in the cannabis industry. I've been in the legal cannabis industry for about 15 years now. I started what people would call non-plant touching businesses. In the cannabis industry, we like to say there's plant touching businesses and there's non-plant touching businesses. And what that really means is when you legalize cannabis or liberalize the laws or modernize policy, for whatever reasons, be it human rights, be it compassion, be it common sense, there is a ripple effect in terms of the industry. And it's very interesting. I think a lot of people don't understand all the benefits economically for cannabis, again, legalized under whatever auspices, medical, recreational, albeit. So I'll start with just saying what I've done thus far. And the first business I started was 15 years ago. It was a medical marijuana clinic. We call that a non-plant touching business. It's not a dispensary, it was a clinic, and I have a set of doctors who I hired to work for me. And in the last 15 years, we carded, that's what we call it. It's not a prescription in America. Now, is it? It's a recommendation because it's not legal from the FDA, so we call it a recommendation. We carded over 20,000 people. And so not only did I create a business that made money for me, we were actually able to change the dynamic of the community. It was a more prosperous community, and it was a safer community, because what we did is we created safe access for patients, and we literally took cannabis off the black market. No small task in a valley in southern Oregon, which was known for growing over $1 billion worth of illicit cannabis. That market got flipped over, and it all went into the illicit market. So this is a very interesting time in my life. I was able to revolutionize medical marijuana in America. I'm the first person to advertise on network TV and make it mainstream, if you will. And that was also no small task, because I actually had to make this commercial myself. They wouldn't make it for me. I made the commercial, and I made it extremely professional. I took the extra effort to make it professional, presented it to them, and off we went with this amazing business that was actually helping the community at the same time. I was an activist. 30 years ago today, I was on the corner of Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco. I lived in Berkeley, and I commuted, and I took the Bay Bridge over to Haight-Ashbury, where Debbie Goldsberry, through a man named Dennis Perrone, who's the godfather of the medical marijuana movement, had a booth on the corner, and we sold stickers, and we had a jar for donations, even though we called them stonations, haha. And we said legalize cannabis. And we also had petitions, and we were there getting signatures for what would then turn out to be Proposition 215, which is the first medical marijuana law in America from California, which was passed in 1996. So when I started into business, I felt a little guilty. I thought, man, you know what? I'm not an activist, now I'm going to be a businessman, but my heart stayed the same. Therefore, when I accrued, for lack thereof a better term, influence and power in the community, I used it to the advantage of the people to raise the tide. Because the tide, all boats rise up when the tide rises up. And I realized I'm more of an activist now ever as a businessman. So I think, and I'll get to this in a second, so I think this is an important thing for Slovenia and Europe in general to understand that business and being successful at business, it's not mutually exclusive to somebody else, to someone else's detriment. It can be a win-win situation for everyone. My next business I did was the International Cannabis Business Conference, which is held in Berlin every year and is the biggest B2B business event in the Eastern Hemisphere. This is another non-plant touching business. But this is also another event that has helped the community. In fact, some people have come to me and said, Alex, without your event, which started in 2017, Germany might not have legalized as or being on the trajectory as quickly as they are right now. I've had many people say that to me, and it warms my heart. Could I have had an influence on Germany expediting their legalization? Well, that's a very nice thing. While I'm making money at my business conference and helping the community at the same time, these are just two of my examples of economic or business possibilities that when cannabis becomes legal under or policy becomes modernized under whatever auspices, because I think, because we're going to get to what I think Slovenia should do right now, which seems very clear to me, that all these other ancillary businesses are created. And so for the ICBC, the biggest, the International Cannabis Business Conference, there's hundreds of different ancillary businesses. So you have producers and processors, and you have distributors, and you have wholesalers, but you also have research labs, you have insurance companies, you have lawyers who are representing other companies, you have tech companies, they're using applications for the cannabis industry. I mean, it runs the gamut. You guys would not even believe all the different things that are created when cannabis laws become modernized in a respective jurisdiction. Now, what is Slovenia's advantage? This is really something that I've been thinking about for years. I knew I was going to move back to Slovenia 5-6 years ago. The lockdowns happened, and so that delayed that a little bit. But my mind was I've already been living in Slovenia for 5 years probably in my mind. Incessantly going to Nepremičnina Pika.com and looking at real estate in the Opala or in Steinerska under the Polkri or wherever, or in Ljubljana, of course. I'm really infatuated with Slovenia. I do think it's the greatest country in the galaxy. And so now here I am, and I say, well, what can we do in Slovenia? So here's what we can do. Look at this room right here. Look at the brain power in this room right now. This is amazing. We are Slovenia. We are the revolution. And it really doesn't take much to make what most people I think in this room want to happen. It's just a little tweak, because we have it already. We have brain power. We have acumen. I'm so impressed with Slovenians. How many languages, guys, don't you speak, okay? Everybody speaks perfect English. Who's using their, nobody. It's amazing. You are a smart, a talented, a responsible, family-oriented country that's clean. Dobra hrana, čisto. Ni tako navarna ulica Ljubljana.
Thank you for your sentence.
For me, I'm not, because I live in a lot of places. I come from a big city in America, I've had crackheads jump me in the middle of the night, okay? It can be very dangerous in America. Of course, it can be dangerous here also. But no, my 12-year-old daughter, our daughter, she's now taking the public bus home from school. She's in Ljubljana somewhere. Stara mesto, live. It's great. What an amazing feeling. So we're a special nation. We're a special people, and we can never forget that. So, will we ever be the biggest producers of cannabis in the world? No, probably not. Will we ever be the biggest producers of hemp in the world? Probably not. We just don't have enough land here, right? But here's what we can be. We can be the leaders in research and development for the world for cannabis and innovative tech. There's no question about it in my mind. And look at all the public research institutions here today. It's happening. We're coming together. And yes, we should liberalize the laws, and yes, we should have, I think medical marijuana it's an easy decision. We need to, when I hear Dr. Neubauer speak and listen, I was actually crying when Dr. Neubauer was speaking because, you know, how could you not look at it? So what if your kid was sick? Wouldn't you do anything, whether it was illegal or not, to alleviate your child's pain? We all would, I think. And we have in situations. I think a lot of our parents, when they get older, or grandparents, and they die, we know we've helped them with cannabis, and in some, to alleviate their symptoms, to make their last days better. We know this happens. So there are all these ancillary businesses that will happen as Slovenia modernizes its cannabis policy. But the number one thing, in my humble opinion, that I think we can do and are poised to do is, again, be the #1 research and development and tech hub in the world for cannabis. I thank you guys so much. Again, everybody, it's an honor to be in Slovenia, and I know that I'm going to do my part to do whatever we can to keep Slovenia strong, beautiful, and amazing, and make it indeed the research hub for cannabis in the world. Thank you very much.